This podcast is brought to you by Patriot Mobile, the phone service of America's Freedom Tribute. Use code AFT for a free month of service. Welcome to Let's Talk About Veterans, where their stories matter. I'm your host, Dorina Federici, and today we are going to honor a remarkable group of heroes whose courage is often measured not by the battles they fought, but by the lives they saved. Military nurses, members have stood beside our service members in every conflict, providing comfort, hope, and expert care under the most difficult and dangerous conditions. From the battlefields of World War II to the jungles of Vietnam and today's combat zones. These extraordinary women and men answer the call to serve with compassion, strength, and unwavering dedication. Their stories deserve to be remembered. Join us as we pay tribute to not only the military nurses, but all nurses whose healing hands and selfless service have left a lasting legacy in our nation's history. Today I have Maria CUSANO-SANZO, who is a part of a group of women that honor fallen nurses. The organization's name is Connecticut Nurses Guard. So I want to welcome Maria, and I'm so excited to have you here on this podcast and tell us about this Connecticut Nurses Guard. I never heard of it before, so I'm all excited for everybody to hear. So welcome, Maria.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So tell me, what is it?
So the Connecticut Nurses Honor Guard is a group of active and retired nurses in Connecticut who take time to volunteer and honor our colleagues at the time of their passing, either at the funeral home, at the cemetery, or at the church. Or we've done one in someone's backyard. We've also done a tribute in a restaurant at a celebration of life. And our mission is to provide comfort to the families at the time of their loved ones passing. Right. And our vision is to provide a tribute to every nurse who passes in the state of Connecticut. A very lofty goal, but we're working on it.
Right. So you're all nurses?
Yes.
Wow, I did not know that. That
Absolutely.
Part I really did not know.
Yep.
You're all nurses.
Absolutely.
Wow, how many of you are in the Connecticut one?
So there are 484 of us with capes ready to go at a moment's notice.
And I'm thinking there are 5 of you.
There were 3. That's how it started.
Wow.
But we've grown exponentially, and we are up to 484.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And did you start this?
So it started, there are 3 of us that co-founded the Connecticut chapter, myself, Athena Maines, and Shana Hamill. And what happened was, things just work out sometimes. I was at a work meeting when I was working, I'm retired now, and I was talking to a colleague of mine. It was an out-of-town meeting. She lives in Wisconsin, and she announced her retirement. And we were chatting, and I said, "Oh, Vicki, what are you going to do now that you're retired?" And she says, "Well, for one thing, I joined the Wisconsin Nurses Honor Guard." And I said, "Oh, I've never heard of that. What is it?" And she told me, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I love it." So I Googled Nurses Honor Guard, and I came upon Julia Murray, who founded the coalition, and emailed her, and I said, or messaged her on Facebook, I don't remember, and I said, "Is there a Connecticut chapter? I really want to do this." And she wrote back and she said, "No, there isn't. Do you want to start one?" And I said, "Oh, no, I'm much too busy." And I said, "But keep me in mind if you hear of one starting up." No less than a week later, she emails me. Unbeknownst to me, Shana and Athena had seen something on Facebook and had reached out to her and said, "Is there a Connecticut chapter?" And she said, "There isn't, but I heard from Maria." And so she connected the 3 of us. And Shana lives in Bristol. Athena lives around the corner from me in Newington.
Did you know each other
No,
already?
No.
Oh,
no,
wow.
No, Athena and I actually worked at the same hospital, must have crossed paths in the cafeteria or the hallways, right, many times, but never knew each other.
Wow.
And we met at my house on the deck and brainstormed and pooled our money together, bought 6 roses and 6 lamps, and notified 2 funeral homes. One was the one in Weathersfield where I know Christina, yeah. And then one was in Plainville where Shana knew one of the people working there. And we started with those 2, and we said, "This is what we do, or what we want to do." We hadn't done it yet. And this is what we do, and can you help us, identify nurses that are in your care after their passing? Yeah.
That's amazing. Now, how long ago did you start it?
Well, we started meeting in the winter, spring of 21. We had our first actual tribute in October of 21. Wow. So just about 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And in 5 years, we have done, as of today, 1,018 tributes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. And I'm hoping we can get this out there so others can hear about it and know that you're even out there. And I'm sure Christina probably puts that word out there if there's a nurse.
She does. She
You
does.
know,
She reaches
she's
out
so
to
good.
us without us having to. Yeah.
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 Worry
You know,
about that.
we used to, not as much now, but we used to peruse obituaries. And if we
See.
read that the person was a nurse, we would call the funeral home and say, "Do you know who we are? Are you familiar with us? We'd like to offer this to the family. Would you mind asking the family?" So we're doing less and less of that as more and more people are finding out about us. But we still hear, "I've never heard of you."
Yeah.
So we're working on it.
Now, is the ceremony that you do the same one all across the United States, or does Connecticut have their own, or is it different for everyone?
It's pretty much the same. The Nightingale tribute was written by a nurse by the name of Dwayne Yeager, I believe. And it's pretty much the same. But when we were talking to Julia about, starting our chapter, well, how do we do this and how do we do that? And she said, make it your own. So we've done a couple of little changes to the tribute, not the actual reading of it,
Right.
but we add a personalized line in it to make it personalized to the nurse who has passed. We give the family a sympathy card. We give them a copy of the tribute. So we do a couple of little things, but essentially it's the same everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is so touching.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know,
It's
that
very
is-
touching.
That is really nice.
Yeah.
I'm loving that. I'm trying to see, now, is that what made you decide to do it? Was it that you had heard about it and you're like, why not? Let's try doing that. Were you retired at the time too, or no?
I wasn't.
So there you
No,
go.
that's why I said to Julia, nope, I'm not doing this. I just saw it. I saw a video of it, probably on Facebook, if I
Right.
recall, and it was like, this is so
I know.
appropriate for men and women who dedicate their lives to caring for others, who, and the families too. The impact on them is, mom's not there Christmas morning.
Right.
She's not there. She's missed many Thanksgiving meals. She's not at every soccer practice. So the sacrifices that the family and the nurse makes need to be validated. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is so. And are people surprised when you walk in, like not just the immediate family, but the other people when you walk in?
Yes. Well, the immediate family, we like them
They
to
know,
know. We don't
right.
like surprises because they
Right.
have to agree to have us be there. But a lot, often you can hear an audible gasp. What's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah.
And it's just,
It is
I'm getting
very-
goosebumps because it just, at a time when a
Yeah.
family is so vulnerable and they are suffering in grief, to allow us to come in and be there with them is just humbling.
It is.
Yeah.
And for those of you that haven't heard this Nightingale tribute, it's called, Maria sent me a copy. Well, that didn't go too well. I was bawling my eyes out first thing in the morning, and even when she told me about what this tribute was like, talk about goosebumps, just up and down my body. So it was just amazing. So when you do the tributes and you go somewhere, is there a certain amount of nurses of you that go, of the guard?
We put whoever's coordinating the tribute, we'll put it out by email and put it on Facebook, and then put it on our website. And our members will get notification that there's a tribute in Wethersfield on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Let's meet at 6:45 in the lobby of the funeral home. And they respond, I can be there, I can't make it. And then the lead or whoever has the supplies and the tribute printed out, ready to go, will text the volunteers who have RSVP'd and say, let's meet at this time. I have all the supplies. So-and-so would like to read. Say, if you knew the deceased, you want to read or carry the lamp or do a particular role. And then we meet at the funeral home, location, cemetery, whatever, and we do our tribute. We touch base with the funeral home, with the funeral director.
Right.
It's getting less and less of an introduction now because they know us. So we go in and we file in single file. We carry a lit Nightingale lamp, the white lamp of knowledge. And we wear a white cap, blue cape like Florence Nightingale,
Right.
white scrubs. And we do the tribute, we honor the family and the deceased, and we leave.
And it could be 3 of you, and there could be 10 of you there. Or
Yep, it
doesn't
depends
matter
on the time
how
of
many
day,
people?
who's available, the location. I mean, we've done it with as little as 2. You could do it alone if you had to. And the most we had, at a tribute for someone we did not know. There were about 21 of us. When one of our own members who was with us from the very beginning passed away, there were 55 of us because everybody knew her. And yeah, it was tremendously special.
Wow, that is amazing. So what else can you tell us about this?
What else can I tell you? Well, we have a private and a public Facebook page. Our private Facebook page is for nurses who live in Connecticut, and that is Connecticut Nurses Honor Guard. And if you are a nurse that lives in Connecticut, you can apply to join. You have to be a nurse, you have to live in Connecticut, and you have to, that's it, just those two requirements. And on that Facebook page, we list the events, the tributes coming up, the Freedom Tribute in Wethersfield next week, things like that. We also list agendas for upcoming meetings and minutes and things like that. So that's only for members or nurses living in Connecticut. And then we have, and that page has 866 members. So
nice.
All our members on the Facebook page are not necessarily members with capes ready to go, but they're still interested. And then we have the public Facebook page, which is Nurses Honor Guard CT Chapter. And that's for family, friends, funeral homes, anybody who has seen us. Absolutely. And that Facebook page has 2,239 members. So, and we'll post, and we'll post on there, you know, a picture of our group who went to a tribute and say something like, you know, thanks to these wonderful volunteers who honored our tribute in Wethersfield today. Or we put our newsletter up there. We have a wonderful newsletter committee who puts a newsletter out every 3 months.
And that'll be on the Facebook page that any of us can get.
Yes, because it just has, you know, I mean, how many we've done. We discuss one of the board of directors and where they went to school, all kinds of things. Last month we featured the O.N.M. Wilcox School of Nursing and who graduated from there and a little bit of history. It's a really, really nice, comprehensive newsletter.
Oh, that's really nice.
With pictures and just tells us.
We'll post that on our YouTube. We'll put it on the bottom so people will see the Facebook pages, the ones if you're a nurse and the other ones for us to go on so we can all take a look at it. And that's great. And this is how the word is going to get out there too.
Thank you. And we appreciate your help doing that.
Oh, you're kidding. I am just so excited for next week. And I know you said their website was www.ctnurseshonorguard.org.
Yes, perfect.
They want to go on the website.
Absolutely.
That is great.
And on that website also is a video of a mock tribute that we filmed so that you can see exactly what we say and how it's done. And there are pictures and our board of directors and our names and testimonials of families that have written lovely thank you notes, things like that.
Yeah, that's got to be just so touching for everybody.
It is.
And for those of you, you know, next Saturday is all women. We're honoring women in the military, the nurses, veterans, everybody, and Maria and the nurses will be there honoring the 8 women that are on the Vietnam Wall. I don't know about everybody else out there, but me, I had no idea there were women on that wall. I found out last year when we were bringing the wall here, and I started learning from other veterans, did you know? Did you know? And I said, no. And we started researching Sharon Lane. That was the name that kept coming up, and it was amazing to hear her story. So what we're doing this year that's a little bit different is that we are going to honor the 8 women, the nurses on that wall, but we are going to tell you their story as if we are them. It's going to be all in first person. So if I was to make believe I was Sharon Lane, I would start off, you know, my name is Sharon Lane. I was born, and tell you that information, and then tell you how did I end up in Vietnam, what did I do there, and then tell you how I died in Vietnam. So we're going to be honoring all 8 of them that way, and Maria and the Connecticut nurses honoring, oh my goodness, nurses Honor Guard will be honoring each one of them. So I think that's going to be beautiful to bring them alive. We're going to bring them alive, and then we're going to release them. That's what you do, right?
Yep, we release them from their nursing duties.
That's just...
And we blow out the candle. We say their name 3 times. We ding a triangle after each calling of their name, and then we extinguish the candle, releasing them of their nursing duties. It's very poignant.
And we're going to have their pictures out there too, right near where they are on the wall, so you can kind of see them and get to know who they are, put the face with the names and what we're talking about, and who they will be releasing. And It's just going to be beautiful.
We look forward
Yeah.
to it.
Are your members excited about it?
Yes.
They are?
Yes. Yeah.
How many people are coming?
Well, so far we have 4.
Okay, we'll take 4.
But we also have other tributes that day, so we're,
Oh,
we have
my
to
goodness.
spread the wealth.
Which is nice, but not nice.
Not nice, exactly.
Right, they're not nice.
But they are. It's like, oh, we've never done this before.
Yeah.
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 So thank you
Well,
again for inviting us.
Well, you know what? This is how we learn,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Exactly.
We learn, and people are feeding me information, so that's how we're learning. That's how we're putting this together. All different things to honor.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to add in here, Maria?
Sure. So we also do living tributes.
You do?
Which are
Wow.
tributes to, so the difference is a living tribute is for the nurse herself who is in end of life or hospice care, and the regular tribute at the church or the cemetery is for the family. So we will go to a hospice facility or someone's home or the hospital when a nurse is in end of life, and we do a modified Nightingale tribute. Obviously we don't extinguish the lamp, we don't do the dinging of the triangle, but we tell her how awesome she was as a nurse and how many lives she impacted, and we give her a crocheted heart that we all wear on our cape that volunteers make for us, and a bouquet of fresh flowers surrounding a white rose, a embroidered blanket, a fleece blanket, and a pin that says Connecticut Nurses Honor Guard Living Tribute Recipient. And we just tell her, you know, your work as a nurse impacted lives, and you won't even know how many lives you impacted. And thank you for all you did.
Now, isn't that beautiful?
That is.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Again,
That is-
goosebumps.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yep.
And it's not because the air conditioner is on in here either. It is so touching, so moving. I did not realize you did that
Yep.
for, you know, end of life type thing and
Yep.
stuff.
We
That's
also do,
beautiful.
we've also marched in some parades, a handful of parades, just promoting. And we've done, we started doing, and again, one of our volunteers started this. We do, again, a modified tribute at events celebrating Nurses Week. So Nurses Week is, Nurses Day is May 6th, Nurses Week is right around that time. And about 4 years ago, one of our volunteers who worked at Charlotte Hungerford, they had lost like 3 or 4 nurses in a short period of time, sort of unexpectedly, younger, and they were doing a flag raising and a little ceremony outside the hospital on during Nurses Week, and she said, could we incorporate this? And then lo and behold, from 3 that year during Nurses Week to 21 this past Nurses Week, where we went to 21 different hospitals in the state honoring nurses, and just tweaking it a little bit to make it fit. But yeah, very, very touching
that is
as
beautiful.
well. Yeah,
That is beautiful. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of calls. You're going to get a lot of calls. My daughter-in-law in Michigan, she's a nurse, and
does she belong to the Michigan?
I know. I should find out about that. I'm going to have her watch this after I put it on YouTube. But yeah, she's just everything they had to go through with COVID. It was very trying.
Not bad.
Very trying.
Yeah.
So this is just amazing. So thank you, Maria.
Oh,
I love
thank
having you here, and we'll probably record when they're there next Thursday, but it's even better, come in person and see the ceremony yourselves. But thank you, Maria, and again, they'll be at the Freedom Tribute, Weathersfield Freedom Tribute next week, 200 Main Street in Weathersfield. That's July 23rd to the 26th, but they will be there on the 25th. Around 4 p.m. is when we're going to do that ceremony. And we'll have the special readings, like I said, for the nurses that are on the wall. And I'll also be honoring the women that served our country in Iraq and Afghanistan. And also the women that held down the home front while their husbands were fighting in World War II. So Rosie the Riveters are going to get honored too. They were a big part of all that. So again, if you have any ideas for a podcast, please go ahead and email me at dfederici.aft@gmail.com. and visit us at americasfreedomtribute.org and our YouTube channel, America's Freedom Tribute-AFT. And this will be on when you watch it. It won't be tomorrow, but it will be on tomorrow. So the podcast is brought to you by Patriot Mobile. It's the phone service of America's Freedom Tribute. Use the code AFT for your first month free. And I want to thank you all for listening. And remember, voices of our veterans matter today and every day. And please keep our troops and their families in your prayers, and pray that they all come home safe. And until next time.